Is anyone here a fan of Android? Does this look familiar to you? What's up guys, in this video I'm going to be taking a look at the Cydia Tweak JellyLock. So as you can see here, it is a lock screen tweak. It changes your default iOS switcher to this new Android looking one. So as you can see, it is very reminiscent of Android. You can move this around just like on a Jelly Bean device, and I'm just going to demonstrate a couple of features and show you the settings and such for this tweak. So as you can see here, I've got a couple of options here. I've got my camera, I've got my unlock, and I've also got these little app shortcuts here which are very nice. So I'll swipe over here to the camera and it does what you'd expect it to do. It just opens up the camera app. A little issue I've noticed, if I swipe down it goes up and then back down, which is looks like it's a little there's a little glitch or an issue with that. It's not really that big of a deal to me. As long as I can get access to lock screen camera functionality, it's all good. So what I'm just going to do here is swipe across to the left to unlock the device and show you the settings. So I'll tap here on JellyLock. You've got your enable disable switch. Oh, also another interesting thing here, if you make any changes in the settings app, you do not need to respring your device for these changes to take effect, which is really cool in my opinion. So as you can see here, we've got a kill switch for the tweak, and the developer of the tweak has also included support for themes. So we've got here white, solid white, black, and iOS. I'll demonstrate each one. So if I have solid white here, it is exactly the same as the default with the exception that the shadows are removed. It's not, I can't really notice the difference. So I'll head on over to black now. You can see here these two icons have inverted, they've become black. And if I switch over to iOS, it looks a little bit more reminiscent of what you might expect from iOS with these aluminium looking buttons. I think I'm just going to keep it on the default because I think it looks the best. So we've got here one of the most useful features of this tweak, I think, are these app shortcuts which were introduced recently. So I really won't read that. So as you can see, you've got 3 spots for shortcuts. You don't have to use all of them, you can use 1, 2, or 3. So you can go into each one and then you can pick what you want there from all your apps. So for example, I've got Google Plus on my first shortcut, Facebook on my second, and Twitter on my third. So what that means I can do is I can access any 3 of these apps straight from the lock screen as so. So if you don't have the app loaded in memory, obviously it has to load up the app first as it's doing there. Then I can go over to Facebook and I can switch over to Twitter when it loads. So as you can see, it's kind of like opening an app, but it's just right there from the lock screen, and I think that's just so useful to have quick access to any app that you want. Let me just go back to the settings. JellyLock. So what are our other options here? So the circle, if you noticed, all these icons are lying on this circle here, and we can customize that as well. We can change, say for example, the size of the circle, whether it's set like into the screen or if it's more on the screen, and we can change the color as well. So I'll just pick red for an example, and I've reduced the circle size, and you can see there it's taken effect already, a smaller circle, and it's red. I'm just going to set it back to what I prefer. And now we have these icon options here. I can actually swap the location of the lock and the camera, so you can see the lock is here and the camera is there. So I don't know if that's really useful for some people, but I honestly I've gotten used to the tweak's really default settings, so I'm just going to keep that as it is. And sliding this, you can change the size of the icons as well. And we've got an opacity option here, so if I reduce it, you can see everything's become more opaque and transparent. Some people might prefer that if it works well with their wallpaper or whatever tweaks they've got running. We've got our vibration options here, so I can have the phone vibrate when I touch the lock button, and I can have it vibrate when I unlock the device as well. So I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but you can see there the buzzer is, well, the phone is vibrating when I touch that, and if I go over to unlock, it vibrates again. I'm just going to keep those off. I know that's actually an option that comes with many Android phones. They will activate the vibrator by default when you unlock the device or when you hit a button or something. So I guess maybe it's trying to emulate that kind of experience with Android. You've got your contact options. You can donate via PayPal. You can follow the dev on Twitter. You can report an issue by email. Got a disclaimer there. And we've got this advanced option here. I really don't see how it's too advanced, but you know, it's an advanced option here. So the first option we have in the advanced pane is resize bulletin list. The reason why is because this switcher here takes up a lot more space than the iOS default switcher, which means that notifications would come down on your lock screen, they'd get in the way, and you'd either be able to not access a notification or not actually unlock your device. Now that is a bit of an issue. So what the developer of the tweak has decided to do is have this feature enabled, which means that the area of your screen that lock screen notifications will take up has been slightly reduced, so that I can still access these app shortcuts and I can still swipe across to go directly into apps from notifications. So that's pretty useful. You can see here we have an option to replace the lock icon. I believe that is this lock icon that you move around here. You know, it explains where you need to put these images, what the specifications of that image need to be. You can look into that once you get the tweak. And you have here, lastly, an option to redefine the camera shortcut. So a lot of Cydia tweaks actually for the lock screen allow you to do this. So you can switch it to something else if you don't want to access the camera. Maybe you're a big Instagram or Snapseed person, you want to edit images as soon as you take them, you could just redefine the camera. So that's all that there is in the settings here. As you can see, this Cydia tweak is it is very customizable, much like Android, which I know a lot of people consider a good thing about Android is that it is very customizable and that iOS isn't. But yes, through jailbreaking you can get this awesome Cydia tweak JellyLock to give you that functionality. And you know, I think it's really cool if you just want to try something different, you want to have quick access to apps, or if you're a big Android fan and you just like that part of Android. So this Cydia tweak is available on, as I just said, you know, Cydia, through the developer's default, not through a default repo, through the developer's own My Repo space. I think it's My Repo space. I'll have the link in the description for you so you can enter that as a source in Cydia. And this tweak is in beta right now. It is not fully released, but it is free and you can get it off the developer's repo. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe.